The first thing you should know is that once you're in a place like that, there's no going back. Imagine driving through a ghost town, unaware that the ghosts are staring right back at you, from the shadows, from the past. You feel them before you see them, silent, patient, waiting. Imagine, for just one moment, that you are Josh. It's your life, your story. You're the one struggling, reaching for a lifeline, only to find it's a noose in disguise. You're about to make a deal with a place that time should have forgotten. You're seated behind the wheel of an ancient Ford Tempo, the kind that carries the scent of old leather and long-forgotten trips. Your hand grips the wheel a little too tightly as you glance at your wife, Chari, asleep against the window, one hand resting on her growing belly. The engine purrs gently, a soothing contrast to the anxious drum of your heart. Outside, the land stretches endlessly, a vast canvas of green and yellow fields under a sky of grey. Inside your mind, a battle rages. It's the voice of hope, whispering that this town, with its promises of a fresh start, is your salvation. It's the skepticism too, hissing that anything too good to be true usually is. As you drive, you'd think there'd be something, anything out here. But it's just miles of emptiness until you see it. The town appears like an oasis in a desert of despair. Yet there's something undeniably off about how it stands in defiance of time, like it knows something you don't. It's 11:36 when you enter the nameless town. You feel the crunch of the road beneath the tires give way to silence. No welcome sign, no indication of where you are, just the eerie sight of vintage cars strewn about. You try to rationalize it, maybe a local show, a celebration, but they're abandoned, some half buried in brush, relics of lives no longer in motion. You stop, roll the window down, and take in the air. There's a damp, earthy smell, faint but unshakable, tinged with a metallic hint of rust. It coats your throat as you breathe it in and look around, taking in the clash of colors from old shopfronts, the laughter of children from distant memories echoing in your mind. "We're here," you murmur, nudging Chari awake. She blinks, rubs her eyes, and takes in the view with a skeptical furrow of her brow. "It's different," she says, and you both know she's being kind. As you wander the main street, your footsteps sound unnaturally loud against the pavement. You can almost feel the eyes, watching, judging, waiting. The sheriff stops you with a wave, greeting you with oddly formal politeness. "Afternoon, sir," says the first, his voice as smooth as polished mahogany, yet there's a peculiar tightness in his smile. It doesn't reach his eyes. "What brings you here?" asks the second, his eyes narrowing ever so slightly, as though trying to peer into your soul. You tell them about the brochure, the promises, the hope you're clinging to like a tether in a storm. Their reactions are practiced, too smooth. A town of low crime, friendly neighbors, a paradise. And you almost believe it, maybe because you need to. And when they say, "Just be careful of the wildlife after 7, you nod, not fully understanding the depth of their words. "What do you think?" Chari asks you once you're alone again. Her voice is a lifeline in the surreal quiet. "I think." You hesitate, squinting up at the sun that seems to hover lower than it should, casting long shadows that stretch unnaturally. "I think it's going to be okay." Back on the road, the strange encounter ticks over in your mind. Those cars, those expressions. It's hard to shake the feeling that something isn't right, that you've missed something hiding in plain sight. Days later, after packing, you make the journey again, the road seeming longer, more sinister in its emptiness. But this time, there's a sense of commitment, of no return. The town greets you with the same unsettling familiarity, its streets now shrouded in twilight gloom as the sun bows out of sight. Sheriff Tucker finds you again, and you notice how he seems to be waiting, like he knows exactly what comes next. He directs you to a parking lot, and exhaustion makes arguing not worth the effort. You and Chari settle in, the seats reclined, the world outside fading as sleep claims you. But it's a sleep laced with disquiet. Of dreams where buildings lean in, whispering secrets too ancient to understand, where the faces of the sheriffs loom larger, more distorted. Morning comes with aggressive knocking, a sound that yanks you from sleep with a start, heart racing, breath shallow. It's a salesman, the kind that smiles too wide as though his teeth might break from the strain. His voice is oily smooth, like he's selling more than just a house. "Welcome to town," he says, spreading his arms as if presenting a twisted version of paradise. "I've got just the place for you." You glance at Chari, her forehead creased with concern, the same questions burning in her eyes. Do you trust these strangers with promises that seem like traps? What choice do you have? The house he shows you is at the edge of town. It's quaint, almost charming if you ignore the way the walls seem to groan with age, the floorboards whispering secrets as you step inside. It's too perfect, too staged, like a play where the actors have long gone missing. You wander the rooms, the air thick with dust and memories that aren't yours. Each step draws you deeper into the heart of something that refuses to let go. You watch Chari in the kitchen, imagining the life you might build here, but someone, keeps whispering from the shadows. In the days that follow, you try to settle, to belong, but the world outside doesn't allow it. Each moment teeters precariously between hope and a gnawing sense of wrongness. The townsfolk greet you with smiles that don't quite reach their eyes, voices that carry the cadence of rehearsed lines. Somewhere, a child laughs, a sound that echoes too long, its melody stretching unnaturally. You hear stories from the locals of strange sounds in the night, of animals that lurk but are never seen. You try to ignore it, to live in the bubble of domesticity you've created. But the cracks are starting to show. And then, the nights become restless, filled with noises that shouldn't exist. Scratch, scratch, from the attic, thumps across the old wooden floors. You wake in a cold sweat, every creak and groan an accusation, an echo of something forgotten. One night, you brave the darkness, flashlight in hand, the beam cutting through the black like a knife. You climb the stairs to the attic, each step an act of defiance against the fear clawing at your chest. The attic is a graveyard of forgotten memories, dust motes swirling like ghosts disturbed. It's silent but for your pounding heart. And then, the beam catches on something, a figure cloaked in shadow. Your voice trembles as you call out, "Who's there?" No answer, just the oppressive weight of silence pressing in. And in that moment, you understand the truth. This town, this place, isn't a sanctuary. It's a trap, crafted meticulously, shrouded in promises. And you walked right into it. You retreat, heart hammering, fear tinging every breath. You tell Chari, words stumbling out in a rush of panic, of the presence you felt, the eyes that never stop watching. She listens, her face pale, but her resolve, it's steady. "We need to leave," she says, and for once, you know you can't argue. You gather what little you can, plans falling apart as the world outside conspires to hold you here. But as you start the car, the engine sputters, dies, and in that moment, panic tightens its grip, clenching around your throat. The shadows lengthen, drawing closer, and you hear the distant howl. A chorus of doom echoing through the night. This town, with its siren call of new beginnings, has you now. Its shadows are deeper, its silence more profound, its grip unrelenting. And as the darkness closes in, the understanding settles in your bones. Sometimes, the past refuses to let us go. If this story kept you up tonight, subscribe to The Dark Threads. New horror every day.